This video contains spoilers. Your first quest in the valley starts with you needing to head on over to the local village of Wolfhill and speak with the mayor. Once at the mayor's, listen to what he has to say, and then he'll give you a quest to settle down in nearby lands. Choose whatever suits you. I chose the forest area. Once at your new promising location, you'll need to craft a stone axe and then gather materials to build your first building. So cut down some trees and gather the logs, then find some rocks and reeds. You can now place the foundation for the small house. You'll need to craft a wooden hammer to complete work on the house. Your walls will tell you what you need to complete a building, so get what you need and hammer away. Once you're done, you now have a house to live in. And after all that hard work, you'll now need to have a good nap. Once you awaken from your deep slumber, you'll need to head on back over to Wolfhill and talk to a chap by the name of Hakon. He'll want you to grab some flowers from his garden, because apparently he can't walk 10 meters. So go on that long, adventurous 10-meter walk and pick some flowers. Then take the arduous journey back to Hakon and hand him the flowers. Speak to Hakon again, and he now wants a clay jug. Step up to the pottery station and start spinning and sculpting. You'll need 5 pieces of clay for this. Once you're finished sculpting, you'll need to place the jug into the oven and wait until it's fired. With your brand new jug, speak to Hakon again. He'll now want you to take the jug to the mayor's wife, Frida. Run on down the street, barge into the mayor's house, and interrupt their family meal. Frida will ask you to join, so just drink the stew, thank them for how delicious it was, and then talk to the mayor. He'll now dump 3 quests on you at once, so this is the order I completed them. Hide and Seek starts off with talking to the children behind the blacksmith, and as the name suggests, they want to play a game of hide and seek. Turn around and take a few steps. You should be able to see the first one beside the mayor's house. The question icons stand out quite a bit. There's another one behind the tavern. There's also another one just near where they were all standing at the start. You'll find another one in a bush near the riverbed. And the last one, Greta, was kind of cheating and was hiding outside of town behind a bush. You may need to speak to her twice to complete the quest. Now you're off to the local merchant for some fast and chill action. Speak to Albert, and he'll ask you to deliver a crate of goods to Henrika, who lives on a small farm, quite a journey away. And make sure you are prepared to ward off hungry, vicious wolves as you travel there. Henrika will now give you gold for the crate. You can now deliver it back to Albert, the merchant. You'll have an option to give him all the gold or extort him. The choice is yours. The last of the 3 quests is to speak to Bandur, the blacksmith. He wants you to craft a stone pickaxe and head on up the road to clear some boulders off the path. Navigate to the yellow circled area on your map. You'll find 4 boulders to destroy. Get smashing and then collect 20 rocks from the broken boulders. Now deliver the rocks back to Bandur in Wolfhill. You'll now need to go see your old mate, the mayor, again. He sounds super excited as usual and now sends you out of town to help the lumberjack. It's marked on your map, so head there and you'll encounter 2 boars attacking the lumberjack's house. Just kill them and speak to the guy that is bawling his eyes out inside. He's too scared to do anything right now, so he asks you to go get some logs of wood for him. So go and do battle with the tree, grab the logs, and go speak to him again. He'll now want you to go to the woodshed, throw the logs down, and start carving up some planks for him, all while he stands there and watches. Speak to him once again and let him know you've finished. The lumberjack will now tell you about the vicious wild boars that attacked him and send you off to investigate the area. But what he didn't mention was the bear that nearly ate my face. Anywho, you'll come across some damaged wagons and some blood trails leading away into the distance. Follow the blood trails and you will come across Mischieboy standing over a bloody body. Yeah, I think he did it. Oh wait, he didn't? He'll ask you to go to the Herbalist's by the ancient oak tree to cure a wolf bite. I wonder if she'll turn into a werewolf if I don't help. The Herbalist will ask you to gather ingredients for a potion. Head on out behind the Herbalist's hut and you'll see the ancient oak tree. You can't miss it, it's massive. The cornflower and nettles are scattered around the tree. The nettles are quite hard to see though, as they blend into the grass. Once you have all the ingredients, go back to the Herbalist, and she will give you some bottles and the recipe for the healing potion. Just walk on into her little hut like you own the place, fire up the stove and start brewing some healing potions. Once you are done pretending to be a wicked old witch and have all of your healing potions, speak with the Herbalist once more. You'll now need to rush back to the mayor of Wolfhill to deliver the healing potions. So don't dilly-dally. His daughter's life is in your hands. He will thank you because you're awesome. Now turn around and talk to the hunter behind you. 2 new quests will pop up, and you won't be able to complete either of them until the next day. Once you awaketh from your slumber, go and speak to the mayor once again. He will now tell you that Inga also wants to thank you. Speaking to Inga isn't a main quest, but you do need to let her thank you before you can progress later in the game. So go speak to her, and then go see the hunter at his hunting lodge. He'll either be in the building or wandering just outside. After a brief chat, he'll want you to craft 3 wooden spears and kill the evil archery target 3 times until it's dead. Once done, speak with the hunter once again. And of course, you're still not prepared. So craft a stone knife, then go hunt a deer or stag, skin the carcass, and take the leather back to the hunter. I'm a real boy now. Now that you are prepared, he will send you off over yonder. The yellow gloweth on your map. Journey over the river to the marked location, and you will see a mound with rocks and 3 weird pillars placed around it. Set them ablaze, enjoy the moment, and then journey back to the hunter. After a brief conversation, he'll now send you back to your old buddy, the mayor of Wolfhill, and right on cue, he blames it on a witch, then sends you off to ask the locals. Speak to Jagna and she'll give you information on a missing family. Go to Anna's house and search the area and you'll find a blood-soaked note on the ground. Oh my god. Anna's husband was beaten to near death and kidnapped. Oh, this story's starting to get juicy. The note mentioned the marshes at midnight, but it's in the swamp. I went during the day, so hopefully that doesn't matter much. You'll see a massive boulder, and behind it you'll find some items and more notes. This person seems to be really obsessed with Anna. She must be hot. Speaking of hot, you now need to go see the mayor again. And then talk to Inga very briefly before turning right back around and speaking to the mayor again. You'll now need to go and talk to Mirko. He's pretty hard to miss. You know, the guy with the most ridiculous haircut in town. He seems to be having an argument with his wife, so go speak to her next. It seems to be about their grandfather's death. She'll send you off to see Jan, their pop's friend, over at his copper mine. Jan will ask you to be his Padawan and teach you in the ways of the Force that it takes to shape metal. Enter the mine and find a pickaxe. There's heaps laying around. Then find some copper veins and start collecting the ore. Once you have enough, return to Jan outside. You'll need to speak to him twice to initiate the next quest. He's hungry and wants you to be his personal chef, so head on over to Marta, who will teach you how to make some delicious soup dishes. So find a kitchen you can use, like the one in your house. Cook up a pig stew from any kind of meat. I guess meat is just meat and it all tastes the same. Once you're done, take the pig stew back to Marta. She'll give you an awesome pie. That's really awesome. You'll now need to take the cake to Jan. Wait, what cake? There is no cake, so deliver the pie to Jan instead. He'll ask you to find a hammer a miner lost within the mine. So venture on forth into the mines once more on the journey for the lost hammer of Jan. You'll find it near a light shining through the darkness. You can get there easily by jumping down the cliff near the entrance down to the left. With the almighty hammer in your grasp, go back and speak to Jan once more, and then speak to him again. He'll send you off to check out the ancient menhir, which are just big standing stones. Follow your map, kill some wolves, and dig up some sweet buried treasure. You'll find the grandfather's will. Now go back to Wolfhill and speak with Agnes and give it to her. Back to the mayor, and apparently Bandur is missing. Wait until nighttime and search Bandur's blacksmith for clues. You'll find some parchment on the table with some attempts at a poem, and that Bandur is going to the river. He'll go on and on about his poems, and now I need to go find Frida. It appears she now seems to be missing. Search her house in Wolfhill, and you'll find a bloody parchment that sounds like a suicide note. Man, this story is starting to get a little darker. Wait, she's just going to try and kill a bear? Oh yeah, that still sounds like suicide to me. Go and find her at a camp just up the hill, and it looks like she's already killed a few wolves and a bear. You're awesome, Frida. Now you can suddenly smell a stench coming from Hakon's house. Travel there and you'll find the front door locked. Now it's time to experience that labyrinth moment you've always wanted to. See? It's just like the movie. So cool. Enter the house through the back door and you'll find a secret hidden hatch in the floor. Within the hatch, you'll find a piece of a map, which is quite easy to decipher. It's in the swamp near a boat. It's quite dark out there at night, so take a torch with you and the location is near the water in a small shack. Go inside the shack and collect the evidence that is sitting on the table. Then go back outside to the pier and jump on the boat to the Mystery Island. Once there, it's extremely dark, so either build a fire or stumble around for a bit to find a campsite and sleep for the night. Now that you can actually see past your hands, you'll now need to search the island. What you're looking for is up the hill a bit. There's bandits nearby, so be cautious. Up the hill, you'll find some prisoners in cages. Approach them and have a little chit-chat. Apparently Hakon has gone crazy and is working with bandits planning on killing the entire village of Wolfhill. I think it's time to grab some popcorn now. This is really getting good. approach the shed and throw a lit torch inside, which will ignite everything they need to finish their evil plan. Hakan and his minions will come rushing out and attack you. Tell him he has failed this city, all while launching arrows into their faces. Once they have faced the justice of the arrow, loot Hakan's body for his scroll and the cage key. They don't really seem too enthusiastic about you saving their lives, but oh well. Head on back to the boat and set sail for the swamp. Once back on the mainland, go back to Wolfhill and talk to the mayor. To progress further, you'll now need to wait until the season changes. So go do something until then, or just sleep the whole season and go back to the mayor. The mayor now tells you of another village to the west, but it's actually to the southeast. So head on over to Sadabor and speak to the elder sage. Their mayor had just died, and they need you to help find the perfect replacement. That's very trusting of them. But I'll need to do numerous tasks for the 3 local candidates first. The pig farmer, the apple farmer, and the wheat farmer. I started off with the pig farmer, Radomir. Tell him how much he stinks and he'll call your face dumb. What a wonderful conversation. He'll send you off to gather some materials to help fix up the pig pens. There's plenty of trees, boulders, and even some clay mounds along the empty riverbeds. But I had to venture out to a nearby lake to gather the reeds. Once you're done with your scavenger hunt, deliver the items back to Radomir. Then speak to him again and you'll now have the pleasure of picking up his pig's poop for fertilizer. Collect 10 lots of the delightfully pungent fertilizer and take it back to Radomir. Then speak to him again about running for mayor. Once you're done with Radomir, you can start meeting with the master by speaking to the orchard man, Tenzi. Go and pick 20 apples from his trees and bring them back to him. He'll send you off to deliver them to Jan, the tavern owner, not to be confused with Jan the miner. He'll be either inside or outside of his tavern just up the way. Give him the apples, and he'll give you a bag full of stench in return to take back to Tenzi. Now speak to Tenzi again, and he'll want you to be a lumberjack for the day, so grab that axe and cut down 6 trees and stumps next to the apple orchard. And when done, back to Tenzi again, just for him to ask you to now plant some new seedlings in that area. Like, he couldn't have just told you all of this at once to make it easier? So dig up the fenced-off ground and plant those seedlings, and back to Tenzi we go. Once you tell him you're all done, speak with him again about him running for mayor. And now you're off to go and meet the farmer, Repetoslav. Get ready for some backbreaking farming work. You'll start off by harvesting the wheat. Once done, give it to Repetoslav, and he'll now want you to plow the fields, then fertilize them, and then finally plant the wheat crops. Man, I hate farming. Are we done yet? Once you're done, your back might be pretty sore, but Repetoslav now wants you to make some rabbit traps to stop his crops being eaten. So gather what resources you may need and set the traps near his wheat field. Speak to him again, and you are done with all the hard work. Just talk to him after that about running for mayor and move on to the local elder where you now have a choice to make. Once you've picked a mayor, which is really odd by the way because you're a complete stranger to them. But anywho, speak with the elder again about the river. He tells you one of his brothers tried to climb the mountain but was never seen from again, then sends you off to his other brother up the hill who is apparently crazy. So this should be fun. Now head on up the hill next to the unfinished windmill and speak to Foltimil. He'll send you on a riddle hunt. The first riddle will lead you to the 3 beauties, and he also mentions fertilizer, so it's clearly the pig pen with the 3 pigs. There's also a yellow circle on your map showing you where it is. Now grab the next riddle off the wall and read it. It mentions small cottages, and that's basically where the chickens live. So head on over to KFC and grab the next riddle. Read the riddle, and it mentions a paper in a tavern close to something that can ignite it. So it's near the stove in the tavern. Pick up the scroll and turn around to speak to the stranger behind you. He is the one who stole Foltimil's plans and which started you on this wild goose chase. Now head back to Foltimil, who will want help finishing his windmill. You'll need 10 wood planks for this, so make sure you have them handy. Just grab some planks and throw them into the marked areas, then speak to Foltimil, and he'll tell you to come back tomorrow, so get some sleep and then speak to him again the next day. You'll get to name the windmill from 3 choices, and then you're now done. The mountain awaits you. Before venturing forth, I suggest stocking up on some food and water for your journey. Head up the road to Snowy Peak. You'll come across a small river with 2 bears nearby. Deal with them and then head down the left canyon path. Climb some short cliffs until you come across the Wall of Doom. Be very cautious when climbing across the wall. You won't die if you fall, but you'll need to start all over again. Once you've made it to the other side, you'll be able to progress for another several hours of climbing. Thankfully, that only takes a few seconds until you reach a mining settlement at the summit. Casper, the friendly stranger, will inform you that there's been a collapse in the mines, and I need to go rescue the trapped miners. So head on into any of the 4 mine entrances. They are all linked, so it doesn't matter, and it's a complete mess in there and no maps. So you're on your own for this. just run around the mine until you find all 4 of the miners and then go back to Casper, who will then need you to search the camp for ingredients to make some healing potions for the miners. So head on over to their resource building, and you'll find the cornflowers and nettles in there. Then find a house with a cooking station and start brewing those potions. Now find the injured miners and give them each one healing potion. Once they are all magically healed, go back to Casper, who will remind you that you need to be schooled in the ways of the iron. So head on over to the blacksmith Galding and he'll teach you how to forge iron. And then you'll need to craft an iron pickaxe to show that you have now mastered the ways of the iron. You can use this smith here, so you don't have to run back to town and use your own like I did. What? Now, the wording of the next quest on screen may not be correct, but you'll now have the quest Deep Works, and you need to enter the top right mine. Take the first right and then another right and another right, and you'll come to a cavern where you need to place 4 planks on the ground to cross the gap. So just remember, hug the right and continue all the way right until you get there. Now just place all the wooden planks into their spots and walk on over to the other side. And guess what? Time for some more climbing. So up you go and continue climbing until you reach the exit, which will be a bright light at the end of the tunnel. It's okay, you can walk towards it just this once. Now once you're outside, you will have wished you never came, because you're about to spend around 15 to 20 minutes running the biggest obstacle course in the game. Welcome to the Gauntlet. Walking along dead trees, more rock climbing, there's even some rope climbing and free falling. But I have to admit, I really enjoyed this part of the game. You'll eventually reach the top of the snowy peak and have to break through a big boulder to reveal an even bigger boulder that is blocking the brook. So, with your trusty pickaxe, smash the boulder that is holding the boulder, that is blocking the brook, that is not allowing the water to flow to the river. And watch it tumble down the canyon and hope that no one is down there having a bath or a leisurely swim, because that would hurt. Now, return back to the main map through the path with the red cloth and head back to Sodobor. You'll find that the once dead barren river is now full and flowing once more. You'll have hundreds of villagers greeting you like the hero you are for saving their village and restoring the flow of water. Or at least you can just imagine what it would be like if they actually cared. But whatever. Head on over to the Elder and speak to him. Then go and talk to the newly elected mayor. So, no one actually told the villagers that I just picked the mayor for them and their votes didn't actually count? Politics. Now that you have renewed the trade route, go and speak to the mayor of Wolfhill and roll credits. The entire main quest chain took me around 5 hours to complete, without any deviation from the quest line. I already finished it once before, so I had previous knowledge of all the quests. There is still a massive amount of side quests, dynasty quests, village building, farming, hunting, and so much more to do within this game. My first playthrough took me around 20 plus hours to finish the main quest line with most of the side quests and dynasty quests. But I am still nowhere near finished building my village the way I want. You will honestly sink many, many hours into this game. If you enjoy my content, feel free to like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment.